In this meditation, we will focus on removing etheric implants in the throat, esophagus, as well as the right ear and the left ear. The throat is a powerful creation portal, a place where we are able to speak life into our material reality. And the way the false matrix simulation tends to work is it will tap into our places of power to create different obstructions or booby traps. So we're going to check for that today and remove those. Also, we'll be checking for any devices that might be specifically in our ears, which would facilitate any kind of karmic pain traps or false karma. Karmic debt is more attached to a kind of supercomputer within the false matrix simulation, and excessive karmic debt can be piled on, not due to cause and effect, but just to keep certain beings entrapped in the simulation. So if that is machinery that we run into, we definitely want to take care of that as well. And then we're going to focus on creating empowerments and protections in these areas to invite more currency, more flow to support us with aligning with the reality that we truly want to embody in the material realm. And so on that note, we are going to take some deep breaths here. We're going to take a round of 4-4-4 breath, breathing in for the count of 4. Holding for the count of 4. Breathing out of our nose for the count of 4. And now we're going to take a round of 5-5-5 breath, breathing in for the count of 5. Holding for 5. Breathing out of our nose for 5. We're going to take one last round of breath, this time doing a round of 6-6-6 breath, breathing in for the count of 6. Holding for the count of 6. Breathing out of our nose for the count of 6. And at this time, we will focus on flow. So we can envision a river flowing through our body, starting at the top of our head, moving down to our ears, our neck, our shoulders, our arms, chest, the torso, the hips, sexual organs, the buttocks, the back, the spine, the thighs, the knees, the shins, the ankles, the feet. And we can just envision that this water is going down a drain, composting anything out of alignment with the healing journey we are taking today. It's just going down into the 0 point field. Next, you can envision that there is a shower head that's right above you, streaming in prana, life force energy, starting at the top of your head, moving all the way down your arms, all other aspects of your body, your hands, your feet, your legs. Once again, This water is pouring down and going down a drain into the 0 point field, anything out of alignment with today's session. And we want to set an intention for today. So if you can take a moment to set an intention to remove any etheric implants in the throat or the ears, which are out of alignment with you embodying the natural flow of currency in your reality. You could say something to the effect of, I intend to clear my throat, my ears, and my esophagus of all etheric implants or booby traps which keep me out of alignment with the natural flow and currency of my material reality. And let's take a pause here. Take a deep breath in. Hold and release. We're going to do 2 more deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. Hold. Release. Last time, take a deep breath in. Hold and release. Okay, so we're going to play around with the imagery of you getting a checkup. So envision yourself in a really, really cozy sort of wellness center. So you're at this cozy wellness center and you are getting an examination from a wellness practitioner. And that wellness practitioner is going to be you today because you are the author of your story and you are your greatest healer, okay? So we're going to play around with this imagery of you being in a wellness center. So you can lay down in a really, really cozy examination table and really stretch your imagination, right? Make it really lush and beautiful, cozy. Maybe there's lots of plants. Maybe there's a water fountain in the background. Maybe there's crystals. Maybe there's really warm and vibrant colors. Take a note of the smells around you. Maybe your favorite aromatherapy is going on in the background. Maybe you have some yummy incense around. Just make it cozy. This isn't a doctor's office. It's more of a wellness center. You're just examining. You're going to be examining yourself today. And you can even take another deep breath just to get another layer of coziness going on. So you are laying down and there is a screen in front of you. It's not quite an X-ray, but it does what an X-ray machine does, which is seeing what's happening within your body. This isn't quite an X-ray machine. This is of a very highly evolved intelligence, which is able to read your etheric body, not just your physical body. And you are your examiner, okay? So you are laying down on this cozy examination bed, but you are also your healer. So you're sitting opposite yourself too. So you want to take this moment to step out of your body that's laying down and into the body of the healer that's examining you. Because you really want to be able to see what's happening on the screen to really ascertain what's going on in your etheric field. So on the count of 3, you're going to become your healer and face yourself. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so you see a screen in front of you and you are about to scan your energetic field, specifically your etheric body template, and you're looking for any kind of implants or technology which might keep you out of alignment with the natural flow of your material reality. Now, on the count of 3, you're going to see the screen turn on, and you will be able to see the outline specifically of your throat and your ears. 1, 2, 3. So take a look at the screen, see what's happening specifically in your throat and your right ear and your left ear. Is there anything other than the throat or the right ear or left ear? Just take a moment to absorb, let it sink in, whatever it is that you see. If you're having a difficult time viewing, though, that's okay. You can just remove a veil of illusion. Sometimes there are veils that can make it a little bit more difficult to see different implanted technologies. Sometimes they can be a little sneaky and hide in the background. So what you can do is, on the count of 3, if you're having a difficult time viewing, you can remove a veil from your screen, and then it will appear, another screen will appear, and this one should have a clearer picture of what you're trying to ascertain. And as you peer beneath the veil, you can even say something to the effect of, all illusions are cleared. So 1, 2, 3, pull that veil back if you need to, and you can say, all illusions are cleared. Now you have a really, really good picture of what's happening. So just take a look. You can also zoom in, zoom out with this technology. So what do you see at your throat? Let's start at your throat or esophagus. Just take a note to see what it looks like. Maybe it's clear, or maybe you see certain things that don't really look organic to your throat and your esophagus. So just take a look. You can zoom in. And next, you want to take a look at your right ear on the screen. So what do you see with your right ear? You can zoom in. And we're observing right now. Okay, moving on to the left ear. Once again, you're observing your left ear on the screen. If you're having a difficult time viewing, you can always just peel back that veil and say all illusions are cleared if you need to. Just take a moment to look and observe from a space of non-duality around what you see in both of your ears on the screen. And so I'm going to ask you some follow-up questions based upon what you have seen and viewed on the screen as your healer. My suggestion to you is to empower yourself at this time and just remind yourself that the answers already lie within you. So not only do you already know what these implants are, but you know what they're being used for, and you know where they're being sourced from. You can even though remind yourself that you already have all the answers you seek. Okay, because I'm going to ask you some follow-up questions. And you, as your greatest healer, you're going to know the answer to these, okay? So before I ask you these questions, you can make an affirmation to yourself. You can say an affirmation that affirms that you are the expert with your healing journey. So you can say something to the effect of, I already have all of the answers I seek. So take a moment to just remind yourself of your infinite knowledge and wisdom about your energetic field. I already have all of the answers I seek. And take a deep breath here. Hold and release. So I have some follow-up questions for you. My first question is, what are the nature of these implants? What are they? Like, what are they for? So take some time to let those downloads come through. Okay, I'm going to ask the next question now. My next question is, where are these implants being sourced from? You might get words to this. You also might get images. Just let them flow. Where are these implants being sourced from? Okay, third question. What is the best way for you to remove these implants? Knowing where they're sourced from and the nature of them, what their purpose is, what is the best way to remove these implants? Remember that you already have the answers that you seek. The answer might come to you in words or images. Let them flow. We're going to take a couple more moments here. Now we're going to work on the removal portion. First, we're going to start the way we started in the beginning with water. We're going to start with removing these implants with water. Now, I'm going to be offering you suggestions on how to remove it, but also feel free to incorporate your own inner knowledge from what you've channeled from the questions I've asked. So I'm going to be giving you some guiding suggestions on removing these implants, but also feel free to freestyle it and go off script if you know of a way that might be more effective for your particular healing journey. Remember that your imagination holds a great deal of power. So whatever feels the most authentic to you is going to land a lot better as well. But we're going to be utilizing the elements today to support with removing these implants in the throat as well as in the ears, okay? So the first thing we're going to utilize is water. And what we're going to do is we're going to envision water flowing through the ears as well as the throat. And this is a plasma infused water, which is going to support us with healing anything that is out of alignment with our growth and evolution or the natural flow of our existence. And so on the count of 3, you can envision running plasma infused water through your ears as well as your throat, and envisioning any obstruction starting to come down. It's loosening. So the plasma is helping any obstructions loosen. The water's helping with the cleansing part. And we can envision that any obstructions are going down a drain. Maybe the drain is a very large drain, depending upon the nature of the implants you found, but it's going down the drain into the 0 point field, into the void. And we're running the water to support with the first phase of healing these implants, clearing them from our fields. Also, water is really good with clearing out emotions. So if there's been any stuck or stagnant emotions that have manifested as a result of these implants, the water is helping to release that. Next, we're going to work with the element of air through the wind. Wind is a really great element to work with ensuring that change occurs, out with the old, in with the new. So we're going to work with the element of air just to clear any other stuck or stagnant energies. And this is specifically going to help us with any mental imprints, any imprints that these implants have left in our mental body. Maybe there's been certain karmic looping programs as it relates to this, maybe certain mind slides or holographic inserts, something that has you viewing your reality in a way that's out of alignment with your true dreams or your true destiny. So we're going to be utilizing the element of wind or air on the count of 3. And you can just envision that the wind is blowing out any thought forms out of alignment with your heart's desire. 1, 2, 3. Let the wind blow and release. You can even envision that the wind is creating a vortex, and that vortex is now funneling into the 0 point field, clearing any obstructions to the natural flow of your birthright and your inherent right to thrive. Okay, next we're going to be utilizing the earth element to support with basically absorbing any very old stagnant patterns which are out of alignment with your evolution at this time, out of alignment with clearing any blockages related to these implants. Utilizing the earth element is really good because it helps to get at some of the more stuck energies, some of the more resistant embedded energies. We're not quite sure how long these implants have been in there, but they may have been there for a while. So we're going to utilize the element of earth to just absorb any old stuck energies, maybe even any like ancestral imprints. And so we're going to envision a crystal to do this. So you can, bring a crystal to your mind. Whatever crystal comes to your mind is the one you're utilizing. Take note of the color. You might want to utilize that healing tone after this meditation is over, but you want to materialize a crystal in your right hand. Then bring it to your left hand. And then utilize it as like a wand. You can put the crystal at your throat. And maybe it's like there's a point there. And as you direct the point of the crystal, it's absorbing any of the energies of this implant, clearing it from your etheric field. Also put that crystal point to your left ear, then your right ear. And as you do that, the energy of the crystal is absorbing any of those resistant energies. Good. Next, we're going to utilize the element of metal. There is a metal element, and sometimes we are dealing with the element of metal with these etheric implants. So we're actually going to utilize metal. Metal is up of the earth. It is an element as well. And so we call upon the elemental realm of metal to support us with the removal of any large machinery related to this particular implant. So one of the questions that was asked earlier was, where is this implant sourced from? So there might be some kind of machinery that it's being sourced from that's not even in our particular energetic field, but lies way outside of it. So we're going to be doing a little bit of remote viewing, and we're going to be working with the metal element to support us with unplugging any parts that is funneling this etheric implant, whether it's in the throat or the right ear or the left ear. So you're going to bring your consciousness to where the main machinery of this etheric implant is attached to. Let your mind wander a bit to get there. And you are completely guarded and protected during this meditation by your innermost self and the elemental realms as you do this deprogramming and unplugging. And once you find the source of where this etheric implant or where these implants are being siphoned into, you can choose to unplug, and you're going to be utilizing the support of the metal element to unplug and dissolve the power source of these implants. And before we do that, you can even set the intention that this is what you're going to do. I intend to unplug the power source of these implants at the root. And on the count of 3, we're going to work with the element of metal to unplug. 1, 2, 3, unplug. Make sure that the right ear has unplugged, the left ear, as well as the throat and the esophagus are all unplugged. So this might take a little bit of time. Just make sure that you see if there are any power sources and that you're unplugging them in the way that most aligns with what's best for you and your imagination. And wherever there was an implant, you also just want to set the intention to bring prana energy into those spaces. You can even envision gold or silver or copper fueling and funneling these spaces, making sure that there's no void space and that you are infusing these areas with color rays which are supportive for your healing path. So gold and silver is really good for that. Calling in more abundance, more health, more flow, more joy into these parts. And the metal element is still supporting with that, with the gold and silver. Now we're going to utilize one more element today, and that is the element of fire. And fire is going to further help to close off and seal the spaces so that no reimplantation can happen. Fire is great for transmutation. So when you run the fire through your throat and your ears, you're setting the intention that there is no space or opportunity for reimplantation to happen. It's like you're sealing it up. 1, 2, 3. You can run the fire through your throat, esophagus, right ear, left ear. You can play around with the color flames as well. as those flames are burning, they're also sealing, transmuting any entry points into sovereign space for you to create and align with your natural flow. Let's focus on the fire, sealing up those areas for a little longer. Good. Now we are just want to focus on the gem ruby. Ruby's really good for protection, vitality, wealth, longevity, passion. We want to make sure that we have just an extra layer of empowerment for our throat and our ears, so you can now materialize a very large ruby. And it's a heart-shaped ruby. And you want to run that down your throat, up your ears, your right ear, your left ear, back down your throat. And then you want the heart-shaped ruby to connect your throat and your ears to your heart space. This heart-shaped ruby stays at your heart space, and it provides a bridge between your heart, your throat, and your ears. And so what this means is that you will have a better time with feeling what it is you want to create, speaking what it is you want to create, and hearing what it is you want to create. Closing all portals, all gates, all inversions which would implant different thought forms or implant inorganic attachments which would keep you out of alignment with your heart's desire. So this heart-shaped ruby now creates a clear channel between your heart, your throat, and your ears. We're going to take 2 deep breaths here. Last one. Now, if you feel like you might need to come back to this meditation, feel free to do so. The throat has a lot of manipulations, so this might be something that might be helpful to do a couple times, or to do it as like an energetic hygiene sort of activity every once in a while, especially if you feel like your throat is getting a little itchy or you're coughing a lot and it's not really as a result of a cold. And thank you so much for showing up for your healing practice. Also, just take note about the attachments that you identified and what their purposes are. And if you want to empower this practice, you can declare and decree that these attachments are cleared. And you can even write, burn, and release it. Sending you lots of love, joy, and peace until we meet again.